Hello and welcome to the first ever edition of
ShoddyTalks!
Oh, Jesus.
I said it first.
To say it first.
Yes!
ShoddyTalks for 25th of February 2013.
ShoddyTalks. Uh-oh, new show.
Yes.
These new changes, I don't like them.
I know, we're going to have some changes, and we will be announcing the other changes at the end of this show, I believe. So, first off, what is ShoddyTalks? Well, it is a new show, a new kind of formatted show. It's not getting rid of Q&A, but it is kind of absorbing it.
Not replacing it.
Yeah, it's not replacing, it's absorbing it. It will be within it because we will still answer questions and stuff like that, but a lot of the answers won't be definitive, like factual answers. They'll be more opinionated, more speculation type things. At least until there are more information and stuffs coming from ZeniMax.
Right. I mean, the reason we're doing this is because as fun as the Q&As are, have that community involvement, and we still will be doing it in the Shoddy Talks, but we just don't have enough information out to call it a Q&A anymore because most of it is turning into speculation and just our own opinions, which is fun too, but...
So, just kind of think of it of like a rebranding, I guess, of the Q&A show. So it doesn't cause any confusion amongst our viewers thinking that maybe everything we're saying is factual. Though you shouldn't, because, we pretty much tell you, we're talking out of our asses right now. But
I hope people don't do that. I hope we are not their only source of information.
Yes, there's plenty of information out there, different sources, so please check all. So anyways...
Oh, and if you hate the name of the show, you only have yourselves to blame,
yes,
right?
because, like we always say, this is a community-driven show. So we put it up to you guys to vote for the names and give us some other options, and you all chose ShoddyTalks. I think it's too much like shit talk, but I mean that's.
I don't
just
know
me.
why you think that. My mind didn't go there. My mind went to TED Talks, which I guess we're just like TED Talks, just way less intelligent about.
Yeah, not about sciencey stuff.
Yeah, so it was between Shoddy Talks, Shoddy Thoughts, and Shoddy Form,
which no one voted for.
Not a single soul voted for Shoddy Form.
That was mine, by the way. That was no one voted for.
And then Shoddy Thoughts almost made it, but hey, that's a motivation to like our Facebook page. You get to name shows. How awesome is that? Right?
So let's go on with the first one. Is by Tyler John R. Not seeing my post. Okay. Let's see. I've not heard this addressed anywhere, but do you think ESO will have range limitations similar to Rift or WoW? I understand range limitations are usually implemented in order to balance PvP, but in my opinion it breaks immersion when ranged players are forced within melee kills, charge, C box, to even be able to engage them. Ranged DPS should be lethal enough to punish melee for not closing the distance fast enough, and melee should clean house if they manage to close the distance between them. Let's see. I want a sense of realism from ESO. Not devs playing the balance game, cater to the crybaby minority. So basically, will there be range limitations? Or do we think there will be range limitations? Oh, and also he was asking if healing would be kind of like targeted or aimed, if you have to aim heals. Like aiming projectiles at people, I guess. So do you think there will be range limitations?
Yes.
Okay, and... why? Just for balancing purposes?
I think that's what ZeniMax will do because of, balancing purposes. And it's really hard to say, though, because they haven't really... I mean, we know there's this whole soft locking system and stuff like that. But I know what people are dreaming of. People are dreaming of sitting up on the castle in Cyrodiil and, like, hitting this guy off in the way, way off distance and nailing him. But, and as cool as that sounds, and I would definitely want it, archery would be a very, very skill-based thing, and I would actually like that a lot because, I mean, we have an example, Chivalry. Right, we've played Chivalry, and I've done some archery in there, and I'll tell you what, man, when archery in a single-player game is so much easier than archery in a multiplayer game.
You're trying to hit a real... well, not a real person, but a real fake person running around.
If you think it's hard to, hit people in while you're playing Battlefield and stuff with like a machine gun, well, imagine that, but with
one shot. But
you get one shot and then you have to reload and stuff. It's hard. People jumping around like that. Single player, you always know where they're gonna run. Like AI is pretty predictable for the most part. But I don't know. I think, yes, they'll have limits on it, and I think a lot of people who are looking for that archery feeling that they felt in the Elder Scrolls games they're going to have to adapt, because it's definitely going to be different.
Yeah, there's not going to be the whole I don't want to say there's not free aim, because there is, but not in a sense to where you're trying to arc your shots properly to, time it out right and everything. You won't have to lead your target or anything like that. You're pretty much just trying to get your crosshairs on the person, or at least near the person, because it does account for server lag, so you don't have to be exactly on it. At least that's how they've explained it. So if you're shooting someone from 500 yards away off of a tower, you're not going to be aiming straight up into the sky, because that arrow is going to be completely worthless. It's not going to hit anything. You're going to have to aim down towards that guy, and he's going to have to be within range, because otherwise, if it does have that realistic physics, it would hit the dirt in 10 yards just by the way you're aiming it.
And I feel the people who want to make archery their main thing because it's going to feel like Skyrim or something like that, and it's a major bummer that it's going to be different. That doesn't mean it's not going to be fun, though.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to be terrible because you can't lead your target and try to get your arcing properly. I mean, if anything, it's going to make archery easier, but it's not going to ruin it.
Yeah, no, it's not going to ruin it, but it's definitely a tough thing, man. And with so many people, because we took a poll on this too, with so many people wanting to go the archery route. Yeah. I mean,
most commonly, is archery.
I did a ton of archery in Skyrim, and I would love to see it done right and like that in an MMO. But I don't know. If I had to guess, ZeniMax won't do that. They won't.
No.
They'll do the whole soft locking, and it'll be easier than having to lead your target and all that stuff.
Yep. On to the second part of the question, the whole healing thing. We actually don't know yet if there's going to be projectile-based healing skills or anything. I would assume there's going to be something like that. We do know there's ground targeted type AoE heals, because if you watch the advanced combat video, they were talking about how there's choices of, you don't have to get out of that red ring, that causes AoE damage. There's always that red ring in every MMO. Or some kind of damaging thing, some kind of effect on the ground that lets you know that you're in, or that you're getting damaged. You don't have to get out of it. The healer can possibly lay down a healing AoE as well that will negate that damage, or at least negate some of it.
We've seen this actually firsthand, though, in the introduction trailer to the Elder Scrolls Online. There were healers throwing down their little...
So you see the ground targeted heals.
Oh, most definitely. So we've seen ground targeted. We haven't seen projectile yet, though. But that would be cool.
I would imagine with the restoration staff, there's going to be some self heals, and then you got to be shooting some kind of heals or something. I would imagine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bet that there's going to be some aiming when it comes to heals. And I most
definitely hope that there is some kind of aiming when it comes to heals, because
it's not so boring.
Healing in MMOs for the most part has been just looking at the health meters.
Yeah. Click at a portrait and then hit a heal. Click on another portrait, hit a heal.
That's why I've always said healing, it's like watching paint dry, but everybody gets super pissed at you if you don't do it right. So yeah, I would love to see some sort of skill based to healing in the Elder Scrolls Online. So let's hope, guys. Let's hope.
Moving on, I guess a comment from Jeffrey C. Hey ShoddyCast, do you think it would be a good idea to add hunger? A hunger bar to ESO. It would add an entirely new layer of strategy to Cyrodiil, as there would be a good reason to starve out keeps from resources and farms. Also, it would bring a new system in which there would be more of a reason to eat food. That way you always find a random sack and chests in Tamriel. So, I guess you already have a post about this on our website. You did a little post about it.
Yes, this comment just hit a certain chord with me, to where on the website I went ahead and wrote an article about it. But before I go into that, let's go ahead and say what we already know. There is a certain hunger element, and it has to do with PvP in Cyrodiil. You could starve out keeps and stuff like that.
Yes.
And that's what you were...
not sure how they are going to handle that. I don't know if there's a time limit or something. I have no clue how they're going to handle that. But they have said that that would be an option. Instead of just breaking down walls and killing everyone inside, you can take over the farms around the area and starve them out.
Right. But what Jeffrey is talking about here is making it a requirement for every player in the game has this hunger bar.
Yeah.
And you have to eat to keep the hunger bar up, or there's consequences. For instance, in Skyrim, I actually downloaded a mod for quite a while. It was a survival mod, and what it did was, if I didn't eat within a certain time, my stats would start suffering as an effect. And it also did other things, like if I'm out in the cold for too long without putting on a fire cloak spell or something like that. You know, it's cool. It's, oh man, hardcore RPers, and that's, I feel Jeffrey definitely falls under the category that I'm in. You know, hardcore RPers love that sort of thing, and they eat it up. You know, because it makes the realism is what it is. That's what hardcore RP really is just adding an extra layer of realism, even if that requires you to go out of your way to do things like eat food and stuff. Would ZeniMax ever do that?
No.
Or any self-respecting MMO ever do that?
Probably not.
No, they'd have to be crazy. They'd have to be insane to do it, because a majority of the player base, I'd say like 99 or 98%,
Not going to want to do that.
are not going to want to do it.
It's just going to be a pain in the ass, and it's not something people are going to want to have to keep track of. I mean, there's so many other elements in an MMO that someone needs to be doing. Stopping to eat is not one of them.
Yeah. And as much as it kills me, and you know, people make fun of me for the whole hardcore RP and like Skyrim and stuff, and downloading mods like that. For instance, when I posted that article, a guy said, "Oh, so you basically want real life the game? You know, you have to do all this annoying stuff, like go to the toilet to take a crap, and
I have to go to the market.
go to the market to get my food and
pay
stuff.
my bills and stuff."
Don't be so quick to diss the hardcore RPers, man. It's, you know, some people juggle geese. Everybody has their own little way to play a game, and sure, if they could some way cater to us, that would be cool, but it won't happen.
It's not gonna happen.
We'll have to stick to our single player Elder Scrolls experience and download all of our mods and just be happy with that.
At least there's some hunger element to the game within PvP, so it's not all lost.
Yeah.
Like we said, making a single player into an MMO, you have to make compromises, and that's one of them.
Well,
not really
it's not even a compromise,
Skyrim didn't even have it.
Because none of the games actually had it. It was just a mod.
But Minecraft has it.
You know, Fallout New Vegas had it. There was a hardcore mode, where you had to do that sort of thing too.
Okay. Yeah,
there's definitely game
I never
developers.
selected it,
If it's an option you can just make in your single player experience and people would like it, then why not?
though. Oh, and then I shot that doctor in the head, by the way.
What doctor?
The doctor in the beginning.
You asshole! he saved your life. He saved your life.
Whatever.
Good lord.
I said thanks, and then I shot him in the head. All right, next. I keep wanting to say next question, but they're not questions. From Ben M. Like so many others, I want guild halls. I saw an interview that mentioned guild keeps, but they didn't specify if they meant guilds occupying a keep or a keep that's actually guild owned. Building on that, I'd love to be able to design a keep. It'd be a good money sink and would be a lot of fun to do. I don't know why I struggled through that so much. So again, we know they have mentioned guild keeps, that it may be possible for guilds to take over and claim keeps in Cyrodiil. We also talked with Mark from Guild Umbra about this a little bit, and he said that it may be a feature. We'll see. But would you think that ZeniMax would do something outside of Cyrodiil? Guild housing? Because we know player housing will be coming, or possibly coming after launch.
I could see them adding it at the same time they add player housing.
Just bigger?
Just bigger, exactly. They'll just make bigger houses.
Little castles.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I could totally see them doing, and I hope they do that.
Yeah, and then it's something like guilds could actively work toward.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the more, I want to say, like, influence points from Guild Wars 2 that would add different bonuses and stuff guilds could select, have something like that.
No, I
you
didn't
can start
get
adding turrets and towers and all stuff to your guild.
No, I didn't get too much into. In Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, they had the whole guild housing and stuff like that.
Yes, guild halls.
Did they eat it up? Did the player base love it, or was it mostly
They
ignored?
were basically just a place to hang out, but pretty much every guild had one.
And did they enjoy? Did it add to the game for them, or
It did to,
these are the
me
questions
because
the devs will be asking.
allowed for 1v1. Because you could just go out there, because you can actually launch PvP, or I guess there were guild versus guild battles from guild halls, but you can do 1v1 from there also. So it just added a different thing. But I think it would just be, I mean, this game and ZeniMax and everything is saying it's all about social connectivity. Why wouldn't you have more social aspects within your game? Which guild housing would do that. Because it would be a hub for all your guild mates to meet up or something before you go somewhere else.
But what I'm asking basically is, I haven't personally played a game that the guild hub is this place where all the guild members are hanging out and chilling. And,
it could be.
But have you played an MMO like that though, where you guys did meet up in there and like have fun?
In Guild Wars 1 we met up there and did stuff. When we weren't owning a town because we were badass Kurziks and we own towns.
Yeah, no, it's just an honest question because I've never really, the only game I played.
It's because it hasn't been done right, and MMOs have not put any concentration towards doing that properly. So if an MMO actually took the opportunity to do guild housing that actually had like vendors and all this other stuff within it, or had some kind of other mini games or something within it, something that just made it appealing for people to actually work towards adding stuff to it, towards the guild homes or guild housing, it would just be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the idea definitely has potential, but we'll have to see if that's something that they want to take their time on, because, it's all about...
Like I said, it's after launch. It's not something that has to be done before the box comes out.
But no matter what, it's going to take time and resources, and basically are they going to say, is the player base going to appreciate this enough for us to put it in? And I hope the answer is yes, and I hope they will find a way to make it awesome.
So after you guys work out your bugs, ZeniMax, start working on guild housing.
But player housing first.
Yes. All right, is this another one from Jeffrey C?
Look at you and Jeffrey.
Look at him, man, having all his good little ideas here. For some reason, I love having a set weight you can carry, because I like that we have to sort our items and ought. What is ought? Just have thousands of items in our inventories, but have only the necessary things like weapons, armor, and potions, food.
So he's talking about the classic RP. You have a weight set to your character, and we've talked about this before.
We have, and it's been confirmed. Well, it's been confirmed that it's going to be slot-based inventory system.
Very predictable move.
Yeah, there's not going to be any kind of weight system involved in ESO, so hopefully you haven't been looking forward to that. But they have added some nice little sorting features and stuff. I was just talking about this a little bit earlier, about how they'll have like tabs that you can sort your armor by, or search your inventory by armor, weapons, most recently picked up items, and I'm sure there's other things there, but that's just a few of the examples they were stating.
The great thing is that this is a single platform game. It's built for the PC, and so we're gonna have all that. Because people got upset about the whole inventory system in Skyrim. It was too console-like.
Yeah, very. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I actually prefer the slot-based thing. It's just easier for me to, look for what I'm.
Yeah, I mean,
find what I'm looking for.
I like the weight thing from an RP standpoint, but that's where it ends. And
not even from an you can't even say it's an RP thing. You can't carry 500 potions on your person in real life, so how's that even a role-playing thing?
Well, that's just because that's an artificial thing that the developer sets, though. But it makes sense that items weigh a certain amounts and stuff like that, too. Like, you shouldn't be able to carry, like, stacks and stacks of iron ore and broadswords in your pack either.
It's true, but you can.
But I think it's definitely more RP to have it weight-based, but this is not. I don't even care, though. I don't care enough to make it. I just don't care enough.
But we'll talk about this a little further on in the week. I guess Friday it'll be.
Yeah.
So, actually, we are going to end it there. So let's talk about some of the changes we'll be making to the channel.
ShoddyCast 2.0 is what we're calling it. Well, I just called it that now.
You just called it now, yeah. First off, if you haven't checked it out yet, we do have forums on our website. Wait a second.
You have to say it more excited, right?
We have forums now on our freaking website. So you all should. Wow. You all should
go. Kyle's having trouble with the words today.
You should all go over there and register.
Yeah.
For that.
It's great because, as much as we like answering your guys' questions and, talking with you guys could have good conversations amongst yourselves, Yes. There's a lot of information just out there in our audience. So the forums is a great way that you guys can interact with each other, and then, of course, Kyle and I will be talking it up in there. And we actually have a guild forum now, and that is in the Shoddy forums. So,
And it's not so terrible looking. It's actually somewhat decent looking, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
and it's free. That's the best part.
Free for us, yeah.
We set it up for free. So
We charge y'all $1 to register, but I mean, that's just how it is. We really don't.
Sorry
but
about
we
that.
should. We should charge $1 to register.
you know they're
'Cause
getting
so
all this
awesome.
for free all the time, and just come on, give us something here.
Okay, so yes, we now have the ShoddyTalks instead of the Q&A, which
Well, not instead of.
well,
In Q&A is on the hiatus.
absorbing the Q&A.
When I think the Q&A will still be brought back, just
Eventually, when there's more information,
we have
coming
more
out, yeah.
information. So that show still exists, guys. Make
And
no
then
mistake.
Friday, we will still have the same show and everything, but we are going to make it like strictly news and discussion based, which it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Yeah, right.
But
'cause-
we'll be going through what has been released from ZeniMax and other sources, and we will then discuss those.
yeah, which we've been doing, but the Friday thing has become way too discussion-y and not enough
Yeah.
news.
Yes.
So
So, for example, we will, like I said before, we're going to start doing the developer question of the week on Friday. So we'll go ahead and show that video and then discuss our answers. And we will also see whatever articles there are, post those things up for you guys to see, and then talk about those. So yeah, it's going to be very news
it's
oriented.
going to be a revamp of our existing shows mostly. So,
Any other changes? That about
no, I can think of.
it? Cool. So then that's it.
Yeah, that's been it. This has been the ShoddyCast. Don't forget to like and share and favorite and all that good stuff. And I had somebody ask me recently, I never understood why it helps you guys to
what does
like your
liking
stuff.
do?
Like, what does liking do? No, it actually helps us out a lot. It puts us up in the YouTube search rankings and stuff.
Suggestions and everything.
Which means we get more viewers, and when we get more viewers, we can put out more content. So it is, yes, it's extremely important. So yeah, don't forget to do that.
Yeah.
And tune in tomorrow. Actually, we're gonna be playing Terra tomorrow.
Oh, it's coming out Tuesday?
Yes.
Awesome.
So we're gonna be playing some Terra, and which is actually something that ESO people will want to be tuning in for because the combat has the whole soft locking thing.
Yes.
So
The combat is similar. We're not going to say exactly the same, but
No.
it's similar to the ESO style.
yeah, so a lot of people have been getting into Terra just to kind of prep themselves for ESO combat-wise, and that'll be interesting to check out. So tune in tomorrow for that. Then of course the next episode of ESO Weekly is on Wednesday. I have been Josh.
And I've been Kyle.
We'll catch you later.
Boy.